Hi, welcome back to my channel where we explore what recovering from spiritual, mental, physical, and religious abuse looks like. I pray over this community that I am building that we may all have breakthroughs of all the barriers that has been put on us by colonialism and colonized religion. So this is going to be an exploration video. I'm going to do just like a simple 3-card tarot spread at the end of this. Um, I started reading tarot cards about 20 years ago. I was out of the cult, out of Donna's house. I was studying every single religion and every single aspect of every single religion that I could to somehow make sense of how I was raised, to find any piece of information that would comfort me. Um, and when I was, I don't know, like 20, 21, I picked up tarot cards so easily. Like reading was so natural. It was a part of me. Um, it was just perfect. Unfortunately, I also started using drugs and alcohol really heavily at that time. I didn't know about mental health or how to escape from cults or mental health care or anything. So I was, what is that? What do they call that? Where you're like giving yourself medicine and it's not always good. Um, yeah, so I started using like pretty heavily at that time. And I think it like overexpanded my abilities and then very quickly drained them because I ended up after like a few months, just it's almost like it disappeared out of my head. It just wasn't there. So for quite a few years, I put the tarot cards down. And then when I was coming out of addiction, when I was 30, I picked them back up. Um, but I was also really struggling to believe in anything, and ultimately I spent my 30s as an atheist. So, now that I'm about to turn 40, I am reworking my beliefs around spirit and around connection, and I'm actually studying the cards, listening to other people and looking around to understand what this talent means and just like welcoming it back into my body and into my life. So, also, I just want to say I understand that my ancestors on my father's side, who I'm in the process of connecting with, they didn't use tarot, they used playing cards. But that is a closed practice, and I don't have any access to that information, and I don't even know if it's appropriate to do online. I've just I've just heard that, and I know that people do. But anyway, so I'm interested in picking up tarot again. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I have access to. Um, so this is a video that I did today. This is a spread that I did today for the full moon in Gemini, the last supermoon of 2025. And I just want to say I dedicate this reading to my ancestors and all those who are seeking to heal themselves from the colonized religions. These come from the Kabbalistic Tarot. These are the ones that I've had for 20 years. Kabbalistic Tarot, I believe from what I've read and studied, correct me if I'm wrong, that Kabbalah, or the earliest mention of the ideology of this form of mysticism, originated actually in Palestine, I believe, or Gaza. These do have like these do have Hebrew letters on them. But I hope that doesn't offend anyone. I'm very pro-Palestine and I am not anti-Jew. But the Jews that told me were that like genocide is always bad. So yeah, but these are the tarot cards that I've had for the longest in my life, and that's why I like using them. They're very worn in, and I've already just like carried them, and they've been through everything with me. So I just have like that attachment. Because I've carried them this entire time. I have gotten an ancestors deck also, but I need to understand more about like African spirituality and thought before I really feel comfortable using them. But that is something that I'm using to study right now. Okay, so we've got a few good looking cards out. So to my ancestors that were readers, to my ancestors that want the best for this collective, to all the good spirits around us, our readers, healers, and have good intention, I would like to thank all of the indigenous spirits in this land, whose land we are on, for having us. Please help my work and the work of my ancestors through me to contribute to the healing of indigenous people everywhere. Okay, so I'm gonna say I'm putting those last two in there. We kind of got a lot, right? Ooh, okay. First of all, ooh, Prince of Discs too. Okay. It's like discs and swords only. All right, all right. Kind of makes a lot of sense. First, Queen of Swords. She is the ruler of her thoughts. She has a single tear in her cheek, which means I think that it means that she sees something, she has empathy because the clouds behind are all raining. So she is in charge of all of her emotions, and I guess no matter how she feels, she still sits on that throne and thinks before she acts. Scorpio in Libra, so your deepest, darkest desires and thoughts being put in balance with your logical mind. Then Ace of Discs. So this is source energy. And when we think of source energy, it's like come to the place of creation because, we can see right in the middle, right? It has that pointed star there. It's like spiritually infused matter, the source of spiritually infused matter. Oh, so it's kind of like check how your thoughts and emotions and affect your manifestation. Tap into spiritually animated matter. Your manifestations first start in your spirit and then come through. Five of Discs, challenge, right? It's destabilization of coin. Also giving spiritually infused matter, but maybe you're sad. It was like sad boy energy infused matter. And this is what Mercury and Taurus, so it's like maybe a sense of like stubbornness in communication. Like your money is as bound up as your spirit is. Okay, Ace of Swords in reverse. Ace of Swords in reverse. Still has the clouds, right? And the moon symbol over. And it's like your thoughts, how like something's upside down, maybe about how you think something is. Sometimes thoughts don't manifest, or thoughts always manifest, and sometimes not how you want them to. So this might be a little bit of a warning for the end of the year. Yeah, we also have the Chariot, and we all know this means change is coming. And of course it is. It's the end of the year. All these planets are going direct. Da 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 da. The world is crazy. So I'm not at all surprised to see the Chariot, right? And I love, okay, like low key think this card is very non-binary, right? Change is non-binary. Change doesn't care who you are. It's change. It always comes, right? But first, we see the sun driving the chariot, this like masculine energy driving the chariot, but only in the embrace of the great mother spirit, right? Who is guiding and protecting. Man, it looks like the seas are being parted, right? The seas are being parted for whatever change is coming. Okay, Eight of Swords. Eight, I don't know. Sometimes I think this is a little bit of eights are like a little bit tricky, or the Eight of Swords is tricky for me because it's like, look at how perfectly balanced all of these thoughts are. Swords are thoughts, right? So how perfectly balanced mentally this all is, and with the physical plane being very carefully balanced. But it's almost like a crossroads card at the same thing. Like, can you see what I'm talking about? It's like you're going to have to make a decision. And maybe the decision is tapping into the source of energy, like saying, keep your spirit well in order to keep your world well. But you are going to have to make that decision. You can't like sit on the fence anymore because the change is coming, and you can either be driving it or you can not. But this does look, right? Like it does look like we will be driving the change. The chariot is towards us. But with the Five of Discs being here and the Ace of Swords, yeah, it's like a crossroads maybe of how you think about how money comes to you, how you think about money, how bound up or upside down your thoughts are is making all of your money and all of your manifestations bound up. Yeah, what, like Jupiter in Gemini. And Gemini, of course, people think two different faces. So you could go that way, you could go that way. And where are you going to find the joy? Which way are you going to find the joy at? Actually, living in duality is finding the joy. Like, honestly, like being like, yeah, like evil lives within me, but also I have this like huge potential to create healing and beauty in this world, right? And I have to like choose, but not all decisions are that like black and white too. And the Five of Discs being here around this, like before signing any contracts or making any big moves, you know, take five. Take five. Make sure all of your thoughts and feelings are in alignment with your greatest good. And honestly, something that I learned the other day from TikTok, this lady was like, you can call on specific people in your family. Like, if you're starting a business, call on business people in your family to help you. So, yeah, I've definitely been calling on, I'm like, any ancestors that were good with money, come here now. Come into my life, channel through me. I am waiting. Okay, so this looks promising because the prince is towards us. I think that new ways of creating wealth, new ways of creating abundance, and it's not just about the money, right? Because it's about that wealth of spirit, feeling abundant in your spirit. And that's so interesting for me to think of right now too, because in these videos that I've been creating, I've been talking about a lot about how trapped you feel as a child with an abusive caretaker inside of a cult, like how not only physically trapped I was and how much I had to give up of my own body, but I had to give up of my own like soul. I had to like pretend to think the way they did, but that's basically most of what I knew. So like, yeah, I'm getting this like reprogram your spirit. Like, even if you feel like you are in a difficult situation, sit with your spirit, sit with your ancestors, and ask, like, what does it mean to be truly free? Am I abundant spiritually and emotionally? Yeah. And I think that's one problem I've always had with like I was saying in previous videos, like with jobs and like trying to figure out like the body. It's like when you've been trapped still and been giving up your bodily functions for all of life, manifesting is can be really hard when you're not allowed to have your own inner or outer world because you're trying to mimic all this shit all the time. And then, oh, thank God I've been out in the world, right? So I've had time to figure some of this out. But I don't know, with jobs and money, it's just like, I think that spiritually, I felt trapped for so long. And the spirit is what makes the earth so good. Like, you could have, you know, all the money and just like have it be bound up. But having this Prince of Discs come through means that it's changing, right? Like, we are ready to go allocate new resources. We are ready to be prosperous. We are ready for the new and the broadening and going for it, right? So that seems good. And then we did get a Six of Discs, which, you know, as above, so below. And I think that really actually drives home this message. Be careful how you think. Yeah, be careful how you think about shit. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll continue doing these tarot card readings. It's basically just for me to get to know how to do them and get deeper in with these cards. I have a couple of books that I'm reading, and like I said, I'm studying the Kabbalah, and yeah, just trying to get in deeper. So thank you so much for being here. Bye. Thank you so much for watching this tarot card spread. As usual, I'm praying for the freedom of all peoples, who are trapped by governments, war, religions, beliefs, and this modern time. All of our freedoms are intertwined, all of our healing is intertwined. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.